confusion in the economy. Today we're seeing people supporting Yoon, we're seeing people that are protesting against Yoon on the streets. Talk to us about the societal divisions that we see, and even if the leadership vacuum can be filled, is that rift going to be healed? We actually just got the decision, Sherry. The South Korea court has upheld the impeachment of President Yoon. That decision just coming through now, the Constitutional Court ruling and upholding that impeachment of President Yoon after he declared that martial law decree in December of last year. So, Sherry, again, this is triggering an election now. Talk us through this decision and what comes next.
You can see right now behind me all of the protesters who wanted to see President Yoon Suk-yeol impeached have stood up. They're cheering, they're yelling. It's a celebratory mood behind me. The stage right back there, the Constitutional Court behind me. In front of me is Gwanghwamun. You have more demonstrators out in force. They're all very happy, cheering and chanting. Music has started playing now across. You can see the smiles very wide around people here in South Korea, in Seoul. What's next? The snap elections triggered within 60 days. That means that Korea will gear up to an election campaign that could also bring more political uncertainty. At least for now, as we've been discussing, we know that Lee Jae-myung, the leader of the Democratic Party that controls the National Assembly, is expected to win the election if it was held today. He's ahead of other contenders. And you can see just the cheering just around me by anti-Yoon protesters. But we know that in the past, despite all of the celebratory mood that you can feel at first, given that more than 40% of recent respondents to a survey wanted to see President Yoon impeached. We have the other camp as well that wanted to keep President Yoon in power. So we will still be on the lookout for any potential clashes on that front.
Sherry, you can certainly hear the level of celebration in the crowd that you're in right now. Just a couple of more details from that court decision. The South Korean court unanimously deciding to impeach President Yoon. The court also saying that the benefits from Yoon's removal do outweigh all of those losses as well, Sherry. I do want to follow up on Belle's question earlier. Now we know the result. What are some of the ways in which South Korea can start to heal some of those political rifts? What are we expecting to see from, the opposition party?
We have heard before from the ruling People's Party that they would go along with any decision made by the Constitutional Court. Given how unanimous the decision was, perhaps it will lead to less political divisions. But as I mentioned before, we do know that there are supporters of President Yoon Suk-yeol out there. Even back in 2017, I was right here at the Constitutional Court when President Park Geun-hye's impeachment was upheld, and we still had clashes by her supporters coming out in force. A handful of people actually died. So we'll be on the lookout for today when it comes to the political ramifications of what happens in South Korea. We're going to be watching the election season unfold. Opposition party leader Lee Jae-myung of the Democratic Party is a likely front runner at the moment that could become the next president of South Korea. We know that the ruling party has said that they would adhere to the Constitutional Court's decision.